What up, everybody? It's iPad Beatmaking here today. I want to talk to you about this Beatmaker 3 update 3.0.16. And as you can see here in the version history, it doesn't really look like there was that much added. It added MIDI drag and drop to pads, added relative options for tempo focus action, added explicit tempo focus action, added undo redo focus action, fixed missing samples issue when editing samples, and fixed Ableton sync. These are much needed, but I've been told by some of the beta testers that actually there's a lot more that's changed under the hood than just this release notes that are featured here. But I wanted to talk to y'all about a new workflow that I've discovered using Beatmaker 3, Atom Piano Roll 2, and an app called Paste, which is a clipboard manager. It says it's a better way to copy and paste. And I want to let y'all know this is a subscription-based situation with this Paste clipboard manager. I feel like it's worth it for my workflow hack, and I was already using this for some other things. But there's also another way where you can just save your MIDI to the files, which I'll show you as well. That way you don't have to use the clipboard manager. This is just a faster hack. But anyways, with all that said, let's get started showing you the hack. All right, so first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and add Piano Tech. And now I'm going to add some MIDI effects and Atom Piano Roll 2 right here. And I'm going to scale lock to, let's just go C minor and hit add here and draw in a chord real quick using the scale highlighting. And just like that, see how it sounds. And we'll go ahead and clone that, drag it out here to the end of the loop point and just clean that chord up. And bring that out. All right, and speed that up a little bit. All right, so let's say I'm liking that, and I now want to bring this into the main timeline here of Beatmaker 3. Now, the problem used to be that you can't record your MIDI effects directly onto the timeline, and you still cannot, to be clear, unless you use a workaround hack, which I showed you in a video that I'll post here. But in the unique situation with Atom Piano Roll 2, what you can do is go ahead and export this. And what you can do is save this to files. And if you save it to files, it'll go ahead and save it in the Files app, and then you can drag it back in. But what I like to do is actually copy this, and then I go ahead and use the Paste app that you can see right here, and go to the pad, and I just tap and drag it right here to the pad. And all of a sudden, at the top up here, you can see now that we've got a MIDI pattern added, and we'll go ahead and drag the pattern out. Go ahead and dismiss that on the side, and then we'll hit this play button right here. And now I can go ahead and mute Atom Piano Roll 2 or turn it off. And I'll just turn it off there also so you can see it's all the way turned off. And now we've got our MIDI. And we could go ahead and loop this. And now we can open it up, see what's going on. And our chords are drawn perfectly in time like we had in Atom Piano Roll 2, which is great. The other method where we were recording it in, there would be sometimes a little bit of latency introduced. You also had to contend with Beatmaker 3's quantizing, so you'd have to deal with maybe turning that off or not making it so rigid because maybe your drawn-in piano had a little bit more feel and wasn't quantized. Well, this, fortunately, will allow you to have everything exactly where you drew it at in Atom Piano Roll 2, which I think is wonderful. So you can really take your time, build your track up with multiple instances of Atom, get those ghost notes, get that scale highlighting, kind of get a little bit of that FL Studio style workflow. And you've got the benefit of Beatmaker 3's really fast, drum workflow where you can really get something going quick. And if you do not know, Beatmaker 3 is basically a machine or an MPC built into your iPad. Really incredible app. And another thing that I like about it that I'll mention with the update before I go is they optimized it for the iPad Midi now, so it no longer has that letterboxing that was going on the side of it. It now is optimized. It fills the whole screen, which is wonderful because you need all the space that you can get on that little iPad Mini 6 screen. And now you can fully utilize it, which is wonderful bonus. Certain apps still don't have this, like Nano Studio 2 is still not optimized for the iPad Mini, unfortunately. But yeah, Beatmaker 3 has been brought to the modern era a little bit. It wasn't a super extensive update, but it was an update that really does make a change in workflow. And I just wanted to show y'all that real quick. And again, I like using the Paste app. Saves me a lot of trouble. It has a clipboard history where everything that I've copied in terms of MIDI data or whatever stays on the clipboard for future use later on possibly, and it's just very convenient. However, it is a subscription, so if you're not liking subscription, I recommend just going ahead and saving your MIDI data from Atom to files, and then you can go ahead and drag and drop it in right onto the pad with no pressure whatsoever. But with all that said, about to get out of here. It's iPad Beat Making. Peace.